Hi guys, a warm welcome to the Niels van Roij Design channel and welcome to Kaeve here in Uden, south of the Netherlands, and to Kaeve Cars and this lovely 512BB. One of the later models actually that was produced back in the days, of course. Cars weren't made like completely renewed every 4 to 5 years as is the case now. So these models run for quite a while. The first typology of this type, let's say, was produced in the 70s. This is a very late model from the 80s, so a 512BB Berlinetta Boxer. One of the first cars that didn't feature the V12 in front, but actually in back. So quite a radical change at the time for Ferrari that had made cars like, for instance, the Daytona, which is this lovely front-engined V12. And this truly is a different beast altogether. Typical 70/80 Ferrari design with this 5-spoke, very typical again of Ferrari, with a knock-off unit over there. But you can see that this design was, if we quickly turn around, carried forward to the car over here. The lovely monospecchio actually, so very special Testarossa. See again this 5-spoke wheel with sort of the same facets, the same type of design, but of course more radical here, more 80s style, and this is slightly more curvaceous, 70s still. Although this is a car from the 1980s, the original design was made in the 70s. I truly think the color combination is amazing. This gold is just looking fantastic on the BB. Duotone as well, so again typical of that day and age. Mainly there actually for production issues, but nevertheless they made it a great design feature to have this body in 2 different colors. High contrast graphical elements in the nose, these superb orange blocks basically, and then of course here the pop-up headlights, and then here this contrast graphic again in silver, which doesn't pop out overly harsh in this car because of course the beautiful gold, but you can imagine if this car is in black or in red, of which one is actually a Koenig behind it, so we'll have a quick look at that in a moment. But if we focus back here, hard graphics, a typical automotive design style of the 70s, and then of course later the 80s. So proportionally of course fantastic. It sits very low in its wheels. A cab forward, so cabin basically on the front axle, your feet are around there, and then this massive engine in the back that takes up, one could argue, about half the space of the car. Big flares here around the arches, balloon tires, very typical of cars in the 70s and the 80s, of course now entirely different, especially with the massive amount of space there above the wheel. But it just sits super nice on its wheels, fantastic stance, and again these typical 80s features. For instance, the NACA duct here, this intake coming from airplane scientific research actually, North American something aviation, I think. Anyway, it comes from airplane technology, and it's apparently the most ideal shape to get in air without causing drag. So just so you know. And then here on the back, this typical, again for the 80s, strong on graphical elements. So very typical contrast features with these boxes on top, and then graphics in black to contrast the design even more. Big rails, horizontally slanted, and then these 4 round tail lights, and of course the 4 massive pipes there in the back. Lovely stance, and then this tiny little window, and these lovely sort of buttresses here on the side that feature, of course, in the side view this sloping roof line all the way towards the back. So if we look at the other side then, typically for the 80s were the crazy body kits basically. So we'll go through that. Comparing the two, the Koenig here and the original BB over there. Of course it's a bit like any car, taste dependent, but it is a true moment in history where big spoilers, big wings on the back, think Countach, think König, with big steps, big spoilers integrated in the bodywork. So it's a completely new shell basically. Typically 80s interior too. So that car has the brown interior. This has the tan interior, which you would find often actually in the US. So red exterior and the tan interior. Very deep dish wheels, almost squarish, especially at the back. And then again, this massive front spoiler over there. And the typical graphics that we just discussed. So of course these orange headlights or indicators, and then the graphics over there that really pop in this car because of the red paintwork. So seeing the two together, in this case the König with so many small changes and big changes to the bodywork, side mirrors, scoops here on the bodywork. Something truly typical for its day and age. So it's all here at Kaeve Cars in Uden. Thank you for tuning in and for enjoying these two marvelous pieces of car design here with me. Let us know in the comments which car here in Kaeve you would like to see. And I'll see you for the next video.